So one thing I did not show yesterday was this. This is now officially hooked up and running. This is our RO system, so we can have reverse osmosis water, which we use for cleaning parts and for topping off the mill. We have a couple kind of special considerations around our system compared to how you would normally install it, mostly due to how the shop is set up. This bucket right here is the entirety of our sewage system. We have water that comes in from the house, but we don't have any sort of septic or drainage. Basically, my way of handling it is I just carry the bucket outside 2 or 3 times a week. The problem is that RO systems make a lot of wastewater. For every 1 gallon of good water you get 3 gallons of, well, not bad water, but water with concentrated impurities, which for me is not something that I can use. In a traditional setup, that water full of impurities would just go down the drain and you would just keep the pure water. I don't have that luxury because I don't have a drain. So instead we have 2 bins here. The top bin is the good water, the bottom bin is the concentrated impurities water. Fortunately, my wife loves plants. We have plants out the wazoo out here. And all of these plants need water. I promise that'll look a lot more impressive when it's not right at the end of winter. It'll be a lot more green out there. If you've ever noticed these really bright lights in the background here, these are grow lights where my wife starts her plants indoors in the winter before bringing them outdoors in the spring. Every year I get to help with the great spring plant migration, and it's a much bigger deal than you would think. And the good news is this wastewater here, plants love it, supposedly. They like the extra minerals. So I will be using the good pure water up here, and then my wife's plants will still be using that wastewater. On each bin, we have a tap. So the white here is the wastewater, the black is the pure water, and eventually we're gonna add a pump to be able to pump this water outside. This is what the plumbing setup looks like. We have this little 3-stage filtery thing here. We have a pressure gauge that's monitoring the inlet pressure, and other than that, it's just tubes going to the various bins. Water comes in here, goes to the filter, and then half of it goes, well, a third of it goes to the pure water side through the blue line, and then 2/3 of it goes to the wastewater side through the white line. Our water pressure here, because we're so far away from the well, is a little bit low, so we may need to add a booster pump. That can be mounted here if needed. Currently, the water is just turned on and off with this valve here, but eventually we'll put this solenoid in line so that that can control the flow. And eventually we'll have 2 of these float valves installed, 1 on each tank, so that if either tank gets full, the system will shut itself off. Then in order to get the wastewater out of the tank, we have this pump here. This is a 12-volt RV pump, and it has a pressure switch in it, so it should maintain 100 PSI in the hose. And then it'll just have a hose with a gardening wand, so my wife can go water her plants or whatever, or fill up a watering can.